Hi everybody, I'm Christy. Welcome to the Ramsey Ranch Kitchen. I am so glad that you're here. You are in our home in the foothills of East Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains. Today I'm going to make a favorite that my mom used to love to have me make when I would go to her house, and it is an unstuffed, inside out bell pepper skillet. She even wrote down the recipe, and I have her handwritten recipe, which is near and dear. Even though it was my recipe, it meant so much that she wrote it down because she loved it so much. Our garden was overflowing with tomatoes and green peppers, and this is a great way to use those up. It's a skillet meal, which means it's stovetop, no oven, except I'm gonna make a little bit of a mozzarella tomato sourdough garlic bread to go along with it. So I hope you'll join us.
Oh, it's a simple living in the hills of Tennessee. But Brooks and Christy say that's the life for me.
To start this recipe, we're going to use our Pampered Chef Deluxe multi-cooker, and we're going to put it on the whole grain setting because I am going to use brown rice for this recipe. You can use white. I've got my Wagyu beef spray here. Just going to spray there so it's not sticky at all. And I'm going to add in 1 cup of the brown rice, as well as 1 cup of beef broth. I do use better than bouillon and mix it with water. It is a wonderful way, or you can just use however, what kind of beef broth that you want. Throwing the lid on and pressing that start button, and it will cook in about 10 minutes, and it makes it super easy. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get our veggies prepped. I've got 5 small tomatoes there from our garden, as well as 4 small green peppers, also from our garden. We grow them a little bit smaller, so I'm using more than that. You could certainly use 2 large of the peppers, or you could also use a 15-ounce can of the diced tomatoes instead of using fresh. But if you have fresh, I definitely recommend using that because, hey, fresher is better. But we're going to go ahead and dice up these green peppers into just small bite-sized pieces. They don't have to be perfect or fine or anything like that. I'm just using a regular utility knife to do that. And that's easy as that. It doesn't have to be perfect. For our tomatoes, I'm using the coated tomato knife from Pampered Chef, and I'm just going to dice those up the same way that I did our green peppers, just small bite-sized pieces, kind of like you would in a can of the diced tomatoes. So super simple, but we're just using fresh. I've got 1 small onion. This is actually called a candy onion, and I bought it at the Dandridge Farmers Market. And we're just going to dice that up again, just small, easy, bite-sized pieces. And that's going to go in the bowl with the rest of our veggies. Now I've got 4 small cloves of garlic. I'm not going to peel them because I'm going to use the Pampered Chef garlic press. You just kind of put those in there and squeeze down on the little handle, and that puts the fresh garlic right in to your bowl. Our rice is done, and I'm going to press the button to release the steam. And the thing I love about this is you don't have to touch that valve at all. You press the button and the steam releases on its own. Look how fluffy and delicious this rice came out. I don't cook rice any other way anymore. Over at the stove, I'm turning my large burner up on high because I'm going to go ahead and heat up our stainless steel 4.5 quart pan. And you heat it up for a minute or two, and you throw in some water. And if the droplets bounce like you just saw, that means the pan is ready. The key to stainless steel, of course, is the oil. So I'm going to use that Wagyu beef spray. I have that in our Amazon shop if you're interested in it. It's a little bit expensive, but it's so good and makes food so rich. I'm using a pound of 85/15 organic ground beef here. And I'm going to throw that into our stainless steel pan here and use the handy dandy Pampered Chef mix and chop to mix that and chop that meat up into a fine grind so that it will be small pieces when we're eating it. This is one of my favorite tools. I've had it forever and ever and ever and wouldn't live without it. But it just makes easy work of mincing up that ground beef. Once the meat is cooked for a minute or so and it's started to brown, I'm going to go ahead and add in all of those veggies that we chopped, the tomatoes, the green peppers, onions, and garlic, and stir that around. And I'm going to turn that heat down to about a 5 on my stove. So you're going to want to turn the heat down since you've preheated the pan and started to sear that meat. We don't want to cook it on high. So we're going to go ahead and incorporate all those veggies and that ground beef together. And then I'm going to get my handy dandy salt box and add about 1 teaspoon of the pink Himalayan sea salt. This is just kind of the starter salt. We will taste it as we go along and see if we need more. And of course, we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. That's just about enough for our taste. You can, of course, add more of salt and pepper as you wish. Now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of the Pampered Chef Italian seasoning. I've always found that the Pampered Chef seasonings are just robust and so flavorful. So of course, we're going to stir all of that in so that it starts to flavor our meat and our veggies, and we're going to let that simmer for just a little bit. Not very long, but we want it to get cooked through. Once it's mostly cooked through, we're going to add in an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and we're going to rinse that can out with just a little bit of water because waste not, want not, right? And of course, once again, we're going to stir that in and get that all married together. And then we're going to put our lid on for about 5 minutes just to let everything kind of simmer and let those flavors incorporate. And now it's time to add in about 2 tablespoons or 4 or 5 good shakes of Worcestershire sauce, because that's going to take all of those flavors and really deepen and richen them. And now we're going to add in our rice. I am adding it in 1 scoop at a time, just in case it might be a little bit too much. I don't want it to dry it out, so I'm just going to add most of it and then see where we're at and stir it in. And if we have any left over, hey, the chickens will get it. But I think that we actually have exactly enough for this skillet recipe today. Just finishing up putting in all of the brown rice. And again, you can use white if you like, but the brown is, of course, healthier for you because it's a whole grain. Here I have a 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. It's a mix of mozzarella and a garden herb cheese that we got at a local cheesery, Sweetwater Valley Farm. And I'm going to take a small handful of that cheese and mix it right into the skillet there and smooth it out, because we're going to take the rest of that cheese and put it right on top because we want it to get melty and delicious. And once that's done, we're done. So as I finish putting that cheese onto the skillet, I'm going to put the lid on and leave it on low to melt. So now we're going to make this wonderful garlic bread using Leanne's homemade breads from the Dandridge Farmers Market. This is a loaf of mozzarella and sun-dried tomato sourdough bread, and it is so pretty. So I'm only going to make 4 slices because that's really all we need to eat this meal, of course. So all I'm doing is I'm going to use my all-purpose spreader here and spread on some wonderful salted butter and get it all over those slices so that they're completely covered. You don't need to drown it in butter, but you definitely want enough to get it all over that slice. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to use some organic garlic powder and do a nice sprinkle on each of those slices. You want to cover it, but you don't want to put way too much because it's garlic bread. You don't want crazy. And just for prettiness, I'm adding some dried parsley on top. I am going to do this in the deluxe air fryer and oven, so I'm putting it on the air fryer tray there. and sprinkling the tops of those with just a little bit of that shredded mozzarella cheese. So these are ready to go in the air fryer. I'm using the top oven here, and I'm going to use the broil setting, which goes at 450, and it's only going to take about 4 minutes. And just like that, those are done and toasty. And our skillet is done. Doesn't that look delicious? It's bubbly and hot and all that cheese. I think it's time for dinner, y'all. Let's plate us up a dish. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed watching me make the unstuffed inside out bell pepper skillet. I'm excited to eat it. I'm even more proud because I grew the bell peppers and the tomatoes, so I guess it really just makes it even that much special. Now, if you don't want to use fresh tomatoes, you can certainly just use a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and that will work very well. And I used 4 small green peppers. You would probably just use 2 large ones, but we live kind of in a hole in a holler on a hill, so our green peppers grow a little bit smaller, but they're just as tasty. So I'm excited about this meal. So I'm going to go ahead and get the taste test done so you can see what I think of it. It looks so good. And that garlic bread looks good too. So let's give it a try. I want to make sure I get some cheese on there. I gotta have the cheese. Hot. That is so fresh and delicious and comforting. And you would never even know that I use brown rice because it kind of cooks, and as we had the lid on it there at the end, it all just softened and it's beautiful. Now, the peppers themselves are not too soft. There is still just a tiny little bit of crunch there. Almost none, but we like that tiny little bit of crunch. Let me try this garlic bread. Leanne's Homemade Breads. We went and picked up this in the farmer's market yesterday, and they had a mozzarella and sun-dried tomato, so I thought it would make amazing garlic bread. That was so good. All of it. That is an awesome meal. It is very easy, other than the time that it takes to chop up your veggies. It's not a difficult meal to make. I hope that you will try it, especially if you love good fresh veggies. This is also a great meal for the winter time. But we had the stuff that grew in our garden right now, so I was just like, you know what? We're doing Mom's unstuffed pepper recipe, and the fact that I have a handwritten copy that I dictated to her how I made it, because she's like, I want to be able to make that myself. And after she passed away, I found the handwritten recipe that she wrote. So it makes this dish just a little bit more special to me. So just a little what's going on in the life of the Ramsey Ranch. I have been working like crazy with my photography. Lots of cabins to shoot here in the Smokies. And so I've been working like 60, 70 hours a week just doing that. So between that and family and regular just trying to keep up with our home, which of course Brooks helps me with side by side, and then 2 vlogs, this one and our Smoky Mountain Faith Food and Fun. Mama's a little bit tired, but I was glad to get a video out for you guys this week. Something that's actually happening tonight, but will have already premiered on the channel, is a fan of our other channel, Smoky Mountain Faith Food and Fun. His name is Jay Towers. He is a news anchor and radio host in Detroit, Michigan, who is an incredible person. Somehow he came across our other channel, Smoky Mountain Faith Food and Fun, and has become a fan. I mean, he just loves us, and so he is actually trying to bring his radio show here to the Smokies, and possibly broadcast from Dollywood and meet us and go to some of the places that we review on that channel. But tonight he's actually going to be a guest on a live stream, which you may have already watched. It is also on this channel, so if you have not seen that, you might want to go back and meet Jay, because he's a great human. But he's known for being the biggest Superman fan in the whole world. He is a big fan of Superman, and so we call him our super fan. Jay has a nonprofit called Jay's Juniors, where he takes applications and sends 400 people, which is a total of 39 whole families or so, in partnership with people who donate, and he raises money all year long to Disney World. These children are, some of them terminally ill, some of them will never walk. So he has an amazing heart, this guy, Jay. We love you, Jay. But we're excited to have him on our show, on our live stream on Smoky Mountain Faith Food and Fun and here on the Ramsey Ranch. And if you haven't seen that one yet, go back and see it. So that's actually taking place today as well. So we are busy, guys. I hope that you will make an inside out, unstuffed green bell pepper casserole. Use your fresh tomatoes if you have them. If not, use diced. But in the meantime, get you in the kitchen, cook you up something good, cook you up some green pepper casserole, and we will see you the next time. God bless you. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We love you. And if you haven't subscribed to the Ramsey Ranch, what are you waiting for? That helps us the most to grow our channel here. And most everything I use, of course, is Pampered Chef. I am a Pampered Chef consultant, and if you need anything, drop me a comment, send me an email at theramseyranchpc@gmail.com. And my website is also listed at the end of this video, as well as down in the description box, where you will also find the recipe written out. Have a great day, everybody. We love you. God bless you. And we'll see you next time. But I hope that you really will go make you an inside out, unstuffed green pepper